know July 29th is National Lasagna Day? Hi, welcome to A Chef Called Rhonda. I'm Rhonda and this is my kitchen. And today I'm going to be showing you how to make the classic Neapolitan favorite, lasagna. The Italian favorite, lasagna, that we all know and love, originated in Italy, in the city of Naples, during the Middle Ages. The modern version of lasagna was actually invented sometime between 1544 and 1692, most likely in either Emilia-Romagna or Napoli. Stay with me while I show you all the proper steps to create a wonderful, authentic lasagna. The process begins as follows. First and foremost, one will need to make a marinara sauce or an Italian gravy. I've already done that and I'll picture it here for you. I have my pasta back at the stove boiling, and we will boil our lasagna sheets for between 6 and 7 minutes. We don't want to overcook our lasagna sheets. Undercook would be preferable. Over to the stove, we'll drain our pasta and we'll pull all these ingredients together and we'll make a wonderful classic Italian lasagna. I'm going to show you how to make the ricotta mixture for our lasagna filling. Okay, so I have 2 pounds of ricotta into my serving bowl, like so. I'm going to add 2 room temperature eggs, like so. About a 1/3 cup fresh parsley, which I've already minced, and I pulled this from the herb garden, and I'm just gonna put that right over the top, like so. And I have about a 1/2 cup of Romano Pecorino grated cheese, and I'm going to add that like so. And I'm going to take my trusty wooden spoon, pop the yolk. Eggs will help bind the ricotta mixture. And now I'm going to add about 3/4 cup of mozzarella, and that's the mozzarella, fresh shredded mozzarella. And I'm just going to take my spoon and I'm going to use the back edge of the spoon here, and I'm going to pull all the ingredients together like so. At this time, I'm going to add about a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Hand guided here, about a teaspoon of Italian seasoning right into the ricotta. And I'm just going to once again incorporate that like so. Little bits of parsley. Oh, it's so nice. Okay, nice, nice. Okay. Can you see the little bits of parsley right there? What I've done is I've removed and drained our pasta lasagna sheets, our wavy lasagna sheets. Can you see that? And they're still somewhat al dente. And I did add a few ice cubes just to cool them down to stop the cooking. And what grandmother taught me to do is to hang them across the side of the colander, like so. They don't stick together, and B, that they get to dry out a little bit. A little bit, or pogo. I cook additional sheets just in case 1 or 2 do break during the cooking process, because traditionally, you know, you don't want any breakage through the lasagna sheet. And Barilla pasta is notorious for making a great authentico Italian pasta where breakage is so minimal. But it should look something like that, okay? And I'm just going to hang it over my colander like so. Okay, we're back. We're at our preparation station. First, I want to take a moment and say many thanks to all my subscribers. Thank you for all your comments, suggestions. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so. Today, we're making the classic Italian favorite, lasagna. Also, National Lasagna Day is coming up July 29th, 2021. So watch this cooking show and get ready and make your very own Neapolitan traditional Italian lasagna. Okay, run down really quickly all of the components. We made the Italian gravy. Gravy or sauce is here. I have a big bowl of just the sauce. I've pulled out all the meat. What does that entail? That entails 8 meatballs, okay? You might remember the recipe, my classic Italian meatball recipe. If you have watched it, great. This is the exact meatball that I'm using for our lasagna today. If you haven't already watched it, it's up here or up here. Click on it and you'll get that recipe. Anyway, the meatball chopped very finely. Can you see that? So I have 8 meatballs. I have 3 sweet Italian sausages. And I left one whole, so you can see that, the sweet Italian sausage. I pulled out of the gravy and I just ever so slightly sliced thinly the sausages, ricotta, which is the whole milk ricotta, and we made that nice cheese mixture with our 2 eggs. Parmigiano reggiano, I have about a half cup, and we'll add that to our layers. And then of course it wouldn't be a lasagna without mozzarella or mozzarella, M-O-Z-Z-A-R-E-L-L-A, mozzarella. And I have about a pound and a half here. I chose to use the traditional wavy Barilla lasagna sheets, and they're hanging over my colander. So we will start with our 9 by 13 baking dish, and isn't this a beauty? This is about 3 inches deep. I've prepared the pan with extra virgin olive oil, and I just ever so gently dusted it with flour. Now I'm going to teach you how to layer it. So once our baking pan is prepared with the olive oil and the tad of flour, I'm going to ladle 1 ladle spoonful of our gravy or marinara right at the bottom of the pan. And here's a tip to making lasagna. You do not want to add too much gravy to the lasagna, because then you'll have it soupy and it'll be very, very difficult to cut. I'm using the back edge of my ladle just to coat the bottom of the pan with that, well, I'll say about a half of the ladle full of the gravy. And once I ladle the gravy into the bottom of the pan, I'll just take the back edge of my trusty wooden spoon here, and I'll just work all that little gravy to each sides of the pan, just so that it will act as a moisturizer, if you will, for the pasta. Okay, like so. Lengthwise, 3 sheets of our wavy pasta, and I'm going to just work them right across. And yes, they should overlap, maybe just under a 1/4 inch. You're going to have 3 sheets on the bottom, or 3 putting the lasagna sheets together like so. First layering, if you can see that. You can see that up close a bit? That's our first layering. Gravy right across the bottom. Just ladle it just ever so gently to keep it nice and moist. And then I'm going to add about a nice big wooden spoon heaping full of ricotta. And I'm just going to delicately spoon that across. And the ricotta will act like a glue in essence, if you will, and it will hold it together a bit, okay? But it will also keep the lasagna nice and moist. Now it's time to add our meatball. My trusty vinyl gloves here. I'm going to take about a good handful or 2. I'm going to press the meat mixture on top of a ricotta, like that. Can you see it? Let me bring it up close so you can see. It smells so nice, so heavenly in here. Heavenly, smelling heavenly in a chef called Rhonda's kitchen. Now that we have the first layer of our meat mixture, so what we've done, we have 3 sheets of wavy lasagna at the bottom of the pan. We added a bit of the gravy. We added about 1 big heaping wooden spoonful of our ricotta mixture. And then we added a layer of our meatball, our Parmigiano Reggiano, which will be our salty bite here. And I'm just going to go right across, like so, right across, like so. And I'm going to pop on just a little bit more of the, maybe a half ladleful of the gravy. Now we're keeping it moist, we're not keeping it overly wet. There's a difference. Take the back edge of your ladle or your wooden spoon and just mix that in, like so. So now you should have the basis of your lasagna, for your lasagna. To add another 3 sheets of our wavy lasagna. And here we go, and we're going to start again. Press that lasagna sheet in, okay, into the meatball mixture. You really want to make sure you have your even sheets here. Sometimes they can be a little bit uneven, but you want to look for that nice even sheet here. And you can take about, let's see, all right, let's look at these guys. All right, so this is even. Sometimes they do stick together. That's okay.
You can manipulate them. They'll work with you. Just don't pull on them too tightly or break them or rip them. Okay, so then again, about a 1/2 inch. You do want to just overlap them a bit to cut a nice even slice. Next layer, so you guys know what's coming up. I have hard-boiled egg. This is very, very classic Neapolitan here. Hard-boiled egg. I boiled about 4 or 5 hard-boiled eggs. I chopped them up. And I did a lot of that in advance in an effort of time. I have my hard-boiled eggs here. I'm going to use 4 here just to tack it down nicely here. And I'm going to press, okay? Don't be afraid of the lasagna. Press, press. I'm going to add a little bit of the gravy here. The lasagna sheets will also help adhere the ingredients. Well, next it's time to add our sweet Italian sausage. Cut my sausage into little rounds, if you will. Okay, very, very thin. You can see that maybe, right? Edge of my spoon and just even out that gravy from corner to corner. Don't be shy. You can handle this now that you have the bottom portion down. You can work and go really quickly. Okay, just like so. Now I'm going to dollop my sausage right across. Always healthy, always delicious, and always fun. Now, is this the healthiest of meals? Yeah, I think it is actually. It's high in protein, it's high in carbohydrates. What's not to love? You have your protein from your meat, your egg, you have your cheese, you have your calcium. So long as you have everything in moderation, you're good to go. Always healthy, always delicious, and always fun. When you go to cut into this lasagna, you're going to get meatball, and you're going to get the egg and the cheese and all the flavors from the ricotta mixture. This is what it looks like with that sausage. And our second layer, you can see that, and you can see how it's coming together nicely. Over the sausage, we're going to pop in our ricotta, a nice heaping spoonful of that ricotta mixture right over the sausage. Okay? Delicate, 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 a delicata. Delicate, delicate. How do we say dinner in Italian? Ceno. What's a cena? What's for dinner? Delicately adhere the ricotta onto the sausage. Get it to every corner here. Some meatball mixture right there, like so. And yes, I'm using my hands. My hands are clean, but they're even cleaner with the gloves, aren't they? Of this, I'm going to pop a nice layer of the mozzarella. Oh, mozzarella. Use the back edge of the knuckle here, and I just kind of set that into and make it nice in place. I'm going to add our mozzarella, like so. Mozzarella, 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 mozzarella. Use your hand, reggiano, just like so. Okay. Va così, va così. That means that you do like this, you do like this. Va così, va così. Now, our whole egg with this layer, right on top, like so. And that nice egg, and you press, press, press. Don't be afraid. Together, the cheese, the sausage, the meatball. Oh, it smells like an Italian casa. Over this, before we add our final topping, we're going to go one more layer. I'm going to add just a bit more of gravy, just a bit here, just a bit, because you really want the gravy to keep it all moist, but yet not soupy. Back of the spoon, trusty wooden spoon. No utensil like it in a kitchen, especially a chef called Rhonda's kitchen. We're going to pick our noodles, nice. Thanks to Barilla. Here we are. This is our wavy lasagna. We're going to push that right across. Like so. 1, 1, 2. Make sure you really get a good look at all the sheets that you're using, because you want them to be nice. No breakage. So let's see, is that a good one? Let's see this one. Into here, like so. What do you got here? Oh, these are nice. Look at that. Whoa, look at that. Well, look at these. All right, we'll use these guys. All right, so this is going to be my top. All right, we're going to go like so. I always have the kitchen scissors right here, just in case we have a little space here at the end. I'm just going to cut one of these strips about 9 inches, because I do see a little gap in ingredients, and I have a little gap here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut in half one of my wavy noodle strips, and I'm just going to top it like so, right across. Press my ingredients. Like so. All right, and I'll show you the little makeshift. It's not a big deal. It's okay. It's okay. I'm going to bring that up close to you so you can see See the little additional piece where my thumb is? That's what I had to do. Now we will add our final layer, and that will consist of everything: the ricotta, the whole egg, the sausage, the meatball, the parmigiano reggiano, the mozzarella, and of course the gravy, the Italian gravy. This last layer here. All right, so we're going to start with our what? You know this by now, right? We're going to start with our gravy. Either use the back of the ladle or your trusty wooden spoon and just evenly spread out that gravy on top here. Because the last thing we want is a dry lasagna, but the very last thing that we want is a soupy goopy one. To add our ricotta, dollop this now right across. Okay, now I'm going to add the remaining meatball mixture. Okay, so there we are. That's our last layer of meatball here. A little bit more, a little bit more of the ricotta, like so. And I'm going to come right across. Boy, I remember making this with my grandmother. Whew. On Sundays in the morning. That gravy would have been made on, well, probably Sunday, maybe Saturday if she had the lasagna in mind. Okay, and then we would do this, and then all 12 of us would sit around that big table, and I would love to listen to what they had, what the news was. Next, it's the final sausage. My sausage on top, like so. Don't be afraid to get your hands in there. And I did leave one. I have one sausage remaining, and I'm just going to show you how nicely or how thinly I cut the sausage, like so. So I'm going to take my sausage. Can you see that? I'm going to take my sausage, and I'm just going to thinly slice it, very, very thin, so that when you take a bite of the lasagna, it's just a very thin bite, very, very thin. Okay, so we just cut the sausage like so, and this lasagna can be frozen. You can freeze it. You can prepare it and not bake it and keep it for up to 2 or 3 days in your refrigerator covered and let it come down to room temperature and then bake it off. And I'm just going to add those sausage slices, and you see how thin, almost shaved, right? Almost very vacusi, do like so. We're going to finish it off with the egg, like so, just like so. We're going to finish it, we're going to top that egg with the remaining parmigiano, reggiano, mozzarella, ending with the mozzarella here, like so. Va, va, va. Va means go. Now we're going to take our trusty wooden spoon and we're going to ladle a little bit more gravy, like so. Just a tiny bit, keeping it nice and moist. And hopefully the family's going to say, boy, this is good. They wouldn't dare say otherwise. This is how we go. Now, I said don't be afraid of the lasagna. Now, I am going to take my hands and I'm going to press, okay? I am going to press and press. Press a little bit, press a little bit. A little bit more mozzarella. Yeah. All right, just one more on the gravy, like so. It stays moist, just a little bit. All right, so final sheets coming up. Here's our topping. Now, this is when you want to make sure you get your good remaining sheets here. Let's see what we have. Let's see. Oh, that's pretty. He's a little short. He's a little good. We're going to put it tight to the side, settle it back. This is good. We're going to put it tight. All right. Gets a little short because you pressed down and you had the ingredients, so we may need to just cut a few pieces, no big deal. And you're just going to press it a little bit on there. Let's see what this one looks like. Ah, that came nice, huh? You see? All right. This one, why don't we go bakusi like this, huh? And we'll just cut this right off at the tail. And we'll make that our closing piece. Look at that, perfecto. That's a perfect piece of wavy lasagna right there. All right, so we move this and we're going to top it and we're going to trim it. And we're going to trim it with our shears and we'll trim this side. And we're just going to take about 4 inches off there, right? See? Ah, beautiful, beautiful. All right, we do like so. All right, so now I'm just going to press a little bit, press. All right, now that I pressed it, we are going to hope, this is going to be bravissimo. All right, so now just a little tiny bit of ladle here, okay? On the gravy, just a little bit, because remember, we cook this pasta al dente specifically for the rationale of it sticking together a little bit. It cooks in the gravy a bit, and so it will then stick nicely together. And I'm just going to, by hand, hence the gloves here, ladies and gentlemen, smooth out that gravy. Final touch for our lasagna is going to be a little topping of the mozzarella. Little bit. Okay, so we have our lasagna finito. However, it has not been cooked off yet. And also I want to show you exactly how to clean the sides of the baking dish prior to wrapping it in foil. I just take a mappina and I add a little water to one section, and I just try to really work the edges so it looks nice and clean. It gets a bit dirty. So you just want to go right around with your clean mappina. Dish stays clean during the cooking process. Residual ingredients from the outer. And there it is, our uncooked 3. We are ready to pop this beautiful masterpiece into our preheated 375 degree oven for 35 minutes. We will cover it with our aluminum foil, and at the last 15 minutes of baking, we will uncover it and let it cook uncovered for the remaining 15 minutes. Okay, our lasagna has just about 6 or 7 more minutes to go before we remove it from our 375 degree oven. It actually has been in the oven for about 38 minutes. I just removed the foil, tin foil from it so that it can get nice and golden brown and a little bit crispy on top. But before we remove it from the oven, there's a few things that I want to go over with you today. And not to miss, Chindan, salute. Thank you for watching today's cooking show. A chef called Rhonda is always healthy, always delicious, and always fun. Lasagna recipe today is a classic Neapolitan tradition. I just wanted to go over really quickly some key components. Make the Sunday gravy well in advance. In the gravy, you should have your meatball, your sausages. Make your meatballs, allow them to cool completely, and then allow them to cure within the gravy at least 24 hours before starting out on your lasagna recipe. Cook your lasagna pasta, which we use Barilla today, and I cooked it just under 7 minutes. And drain and place in a little bit of a bath of cold water and allow the noodles to hang over your colander, thus allowing it to stretch as well dry out. Ricotta mixture, meatball, sausages, chopped egg, parmigiano reggiano, mozzarella, and our gravy. And we combined all those ingredients, we layered them nicely with using the gravy ladle between each layer. Important to note here, do not add too much gravy because you do not want to have the inability to slice your lasagna. At that end, I had my oven preheated and I set it in the oven at 375 degrees for 38 to 40 minutes. And the last 15 minutes I left uncovered, and we are just about to remove the lasagna. I will let it stand, we'll cut it, and we'll take a big bite out of that meaty, tasty, Neapolitan classic, also known as an American favorite, lasagna. Super easy, super fun, always healthy, always delicious. Many thanks. Please comment down below. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing to A Chef Called Rhonda. Many thanks. All right, stay tuned. Let me go grab that lasagna. Okay, I just removed the lasagna from the oven. See how it ballooned up nicely? Oh, it smells heavenly. It is so steaming hot. Can you see that? Let me turn it. Can you see that? You can see it bubbling. Okay, our lasagna is finito and we are ready to cut into it. I have my serrated knife here. It's still very, very warm, so I'm only going to cut a very piccolo means small piece in Italian, because the rest is for la cena, the dinner. Cena means dinner. All right, so here we go. A little piece. You can hear it, you can smell it. Traditionally, you'd want this to set a little bit longer, but for the sake of time here, you want it to cool down just about half hour or so before you go in with your spatula. You can see the cheese is all nice and gooey. And we're just going to come up here like so, and hopefully we're going to be able to do this nice and neat and grab it like so and place it right on our, now that's what I'm talking about right there. Okay, do you see how well the pasta, okay, this is what I wanted to make mention. You can see all the cheese and so on and so forth, but when you're utilizing a good pasta like we did today, oh wow, this just tastes, this is going to just be so good. Hang on. Oh my gosh. I hope you enjoyed today's cooking show. Chef Called Rhonda is always healthy, always fun, and always delicious. Thank you so much for watching today's cooking show. Please, if you haven't subscribed, consider doing so. Give us a 2 thumbs up, email, give us a like down below. Chindan, enjoy, mangia, bravo, perfetto, lasagna. Ah, grazie. Salute. How's that look?
Beautiful.
Thank you.
It's a shame to cut it.
Yeah.